In the second part in this US road trip, I travel from Death Valley National Park to the Alabama Hills, located in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Often overshadowed by nearby national parks, the Alabama Hills feels like a hidden gem, and I was pleasantly surprised by the scenery during my visit. Join me on the next few days of the trip. Good morning everyone, and welcome to another day in Death Valley National Park. For sunrise this morning, I sort of wanted to come to somewhere a little bit different, somewhere that's not on the tourist trail. So I came to a viewpoint that scouted out yesterday, and yeah, I sort of noticed these really cool mud cracks and a pretty cool mountain range that surrounds this area. Might not be able to tell at the moment, but got some really nice light this morning, some lovely colour in the clouds, which yeah, really kind of made the scene extra special. These mud cracks are pretty unique. I've yet to see any like this in the park so far, but yeah, I just love the different colours of the mud, and you kind of get these little pockets of salt that's kind of fallen into the dips, which yeah, is pretty cool. You kind of have to question what your life has come to when you get excited about mud, but that's where I'm at. The plan for today is I've got a night stay tonight over in Lone Pine, which is over towards the Alabama Hills. So going to be exploring there for this afternoon and tomorrow morning. It's about a 2.5 hour drive from where I am right now. So I'm just heading over the mountain pass at the moment, about half an hour from Lone Pine, and just spotted these amazing, I think they're Joshua trees. Yeah, they stand out in this landscape. Sort of see them on the horizon. So, but yeah, they look pretty cool. So I've arrived in the Alabama Hills, and first impressions is it's amazing, absolutely incredible. The rock formations are just so unique. Really impressed so far. One thing I noticed on the drive over here is not only the change in landscape, but the colour of the foliage. They're a lovely like pastel colour, which just looks really photogenic. One thing I'm a bit surprised about is this area is not busy at all. There's only at the moment like 2 cars in the car park, and this is like one of the main trails, so a bit surprised. Alright, so I've made it to Boot Arch, which is another unique formation here. It's stunning, really stunning. Nearby Boot Arch, there's Cyclops Arch, which is, yeah, another good photography spot. think the thing that is surprising me about this area is just the variety of the plants. There are so many different shapes and colours and, like, I don't know, textures. Yeah, they're quite interesting to photograph. So it's approaching sunset and I'm gonna spend a bit of time just wandering the area, just seeing what scenes I can find. It's all very photogenic, and that's kind of one thing that I'm finding on this trip is, yeah, everything just looks so good. You know, it's so different to what we have back home. For sunrise the next day, I headed back to the same location. Absolutely beautiful sunrise, lovely colours in the sky. Starting to get some light on the peaks of the Sierra Nevada mountain range over there. Really beautiful. So I've really enjoyed my time here so far in the Alabama Hills. So much so, I've decided to stay here an extra night and explore a little bit more. And I was thinking that in Death Valley, I feel like I've done quite a lot there, and I've kind of ticked off a lot of the places that I wanted to visit. So I was more comfortable sacrificing a day in Death Valley for a day here. So before coming on this trip, I hadn't really done any astrophotography, and I always thought with this trip it would be a real shame if I didn't at least do one night of astro. And yeah, this area, the Alabama Hills and Death Valley, it's probably one of the best places in the world for astro, and yeah, I kind of thought if there's any place to give it a go, it's probably here. So early last night I ventured back up into the hills. Yeah, I really enjoyed it actually, and I think I came away with some pretty nice images. So an interesting thing about this area is back in the day it was a popular filming location, particularly for Western films, and apparently there's lots of areas around here that you can go to and recreate those scenes. But I can definitely see, if it's a Western film, how this would be a perfect setting. One of the good things about staying in Lone Pine and visiting the Alabama Hills is that they're so close to one another. I'm just staying in a motel for the 2 nights, and nothing special, but it's got an amazing vista just above me there. So after a midday break, I'm back in the hills, and it's a couple of hours before sunset, so just going for a little bit of a stroll. But yeah, I was just thinking how there are some areas which feel very kind of manicured and managed, and like the paths are all marked out, and it feels almost like you're walking through, I don't know, like a wild garden. But then you have a good mix because you can go a little bit further out, and yeah, that is truly, you know, rugged and wild. Unfortunately, that evening I didn't get much luck with the weather conditions, so I got an early night, ready for one last sunrise. Wraps up my time in the Alabama Hills, and it's been absolutely brilliant, a lot better than I thought it would be. So the plan is now to head back into Death Valley National Park. It's about 2 and a bit hours, I think, so gonna sort of stock up on some snacks and drinks and things before heading back in. Alright, so I've made the drive out to Ubehebe Crater, I think that's how it's pronounced, and yeah, this is pretty incredible. The crater was formed between 2,000 and 7,000 years ago and was a result of magma migrating towards the surface, which turned groundwater into steam and created enough pressure to explode through the ground. I then went to an elevated viewpoint of the Mesquite Dunes. And I'm getting some spectacular conditions this evening. I've come to a viewpoint overlooking the dunes in the back there, and it's beautiful. I'm using like a long lens to compress the scene, and it just looks incredible. It just looks like waves of sand. It's, yeah, amazing. And I'm just watching as the sun kind of washes over the peaks, and it's, yeah, really beautiful. So for sunrise today, I've made my way out to the Mesquite Dunes, and yeah, really calm, peaceful morning. So of all the places to visit in Death Valley, I think the dunes is probably the thing that inspired me most, and one of the main reasons I wanted to come here. And yeah, it's definitely lived up to expectations. It's just been beautiful. So I've now come to Golden Canyon. I've driven past this place several times already, and it has been on my list of somewhere to visit, so taking an opportunity to do it now. a pretty cool trail. So many different colours. It's quite amazing. Alright, so I've come to a remote and quiet part of the park, not too far away from the road. And yeah, I sort of discovered this on a drive the other day. Got this lovely sweeping channel of water that kind of leads your eye right to the mountains in the back there. And yeah, a lot of this area is kind of crusted over with salt, apart from this kind of little narrow strip of water, which yeah, looks pretty cool. After waiting for quite some time, to my amazement, there was a small clearing in the clouds just before sunset, which produced some incredible light. Just got the most incredible sunset. It's still going, but oh my! I've never seen light so good. It was just shining on the mountains in the back there, and yeah, I just sort of had to scramble around and find a good foreground. And that wraps up the second part in this series. In the next part, I'll be making the most of my final day in Death Valley, before then heading to the Valley of Fire State Park.